angels willing to hold us in their arms. When our worth was stone or ashes, and we both passed on. Let forever mean forever and carry on.
Good afternoon. Welcome to 2020. I don't hear any cheering. We didn't, were we even up? Yeah, I guess we were awake technically, but we were actually working on getting to bed when the new year rung in. Yeah, we're some serious partiers, I tell you. Nah, just, I mean, what's the point? I mean, if we had children or something like that, then yeah, I could see making a big deal of it. But just me, her, and Blue, and we all know how Blue gets after 10 o'clock. So she was long ready to go to bed. She just doesn't care about the new year either. So anyway, yeah, just we really didn't do anything out of the way yesterday. So nothing at all, or last night, I should say. As far as today, the biggest feat was remembering to change it to 2020 on the thumbnail for the show. So, yay me. I figured I would spend today's monologue and kind of reflect back a little bit over 2019 and hopefully project forward a little bit in 2020, kind of giving an idea where we started at. Or I'm going to try to remember where we started at in 2019, and where we're going. So because that's what's most important. To me, it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you get somewhere. And I'm not just necessarily meaning a physical location. It's that you're getting there. And that is the most important thing, is that you set your goals and you work on accomplishing those goals. Now, everybody talks about goals. Everybody talks about accomplishing things. And I wrote something on Facebook today, and it's a lot of food for thought in it, a lot of food for thought. And I'll read you exactly what I wrote. I wrote advice for 2020. If you can only accomplish things by relying on other people's skills, you have not really accomplished it. Others accomplished it for you. If you need other skills to accomplish something, learn from it also. Or learn from it so next time you can do it yourself. Sorry, I screwed that all up. Being physically lazy is bad. Being too lazy to learn is disgusting. And I put 99.9% of the time, I can't is just an excuse. There are clearly things that we can't do, right? But I find far too many people saying they can't do things that they absolutely could do with a little bit of effort, right? I don't expect Jen to go climb a tree. If Jen told me I can't climb a tree, I'm going to accept that, okay? But I watched this woman do things that if I was in her shoes, I probably wouldn't, and I'm speaking for me, it's always easy to do that, but in reality, how accurate are we? Because if I were in her shoes and I lived her life, there's a good chance I would be just like her. So, but nonetheless, there are things that we can't do. I can't go play the lottery tonight or whenever it's running next and guarantee you that I'm going to win. Doesn't work like that. There are things that we can't do. But all too often I hear people say, oh, I can't do that. And what they really mean is, I don't know how to do that. And what they mean beyond that is, I'm too lazy to learn how to do that. So, I wanted to talk about accomplishments, because often when people talk about New Year's or past years, that's one thing that comes up, is accomplishments. So, I just figured I'd put a little perspective on it, because I think there are a lot of people out there that celebrate other people's accomplishments as if it is their own, right? To me, if Wolf comes and we build a tree house, okay, I didn't accomplish building that tree house, okay? Wolf didn't accomplish it. We both did, right? But it can get even deeper than that, okay? If I know nothing about building tree houses, not the foggiest clue, and all I'm doing is jockeying lumber back and forth to Wolf, while he's the one up in the tree nailing the boards into place. Guess who really accomplished building that tree house? Not me. All I was doing was carrying wood back and forth. Wolf is the one that accomplished building that tree house. I think far too often people will sit back and let others do things and then take the credit for it. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because my hope is that people will strive a little harder to do things themselves, to actually do things themselves. Because I think we get a false pretense that just because, we've got something in our home or we've got something in our yard or whatever the case may be, do we accomplish that, right? You have a fence put in your yard, right? You pay a fence company, they come out, they put a fence in your yard. Some people might look at that as, hey, I accomplished putting a fence in my yard. No, you didn't. You accomplished paying somebody else that put the fence in your yard. You accomplished being able to pay for it. I think that people too easily say those words. In fact, there's pretty much the English language is almost useless anymore, because people will say things all the time that are either inaccurate or that they don't mean whatsoever, and it just flows today. That's an accepted thing. And I'm one of those, I catch on to those things. That's just something I catch on to. And possibly the reason why is because I've always been the guy that if a job needs done, I will do everything I can to learn how to do the job, and I'll do it myself. Just the way it is. I've never been blessed with loads and loads of money. I've never, and if I've had a little bit of money, I hate just throwing it to other people for doing something that I could do. Makes no sense to me. And that makes no sense to me at all. I could use that money towards something else that would be more of a help, or maybe another project altogether. I could use that money I would use to pay somebody to do something for me, I could use to buy the materials for another project. That, guess what? I could do for myself. So that's my hope, is to get people to start recognizing that a little bit more. And the important part is, because there's an important part that overtakes all of this. And that is when you do stuff yourself, when you truly accomplish things yourself, you learn. And if something happens to whatever it is that you accomplish building, making, whatever, you'll at least have a bit of knowledge to know how to take care of it, how to maintain it, how to fix it. That is hugely critical, especially if you have a survival/prepper type of mindset. That's hugely critical. So let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about 2019. 2019 was a lot of the same As far as the news is concerned, we didn't make a whole lot of changes as far as that's concerned. So, however, when it comes to doing decals and merchandise and stuff like that, wow, did we ever pick up? Did we ever pick up? And it was a blessing. It was a blessing. So we've been able to expand a bit into our preps. We've been able to, I don't want to say the word sure up, but get much closer to our goals in certain areas of preps, enough that I'm feeling relatively confident in several areas at this point. And we achieved that in 2019. And that's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. I've still got areas to hit. Of course, I got to hit food. That's an area that I never have gotten yet. That's an area that needs to be hit really, really hard. Two reasons why I've held off on the food. And one of them being, I'm still researching, because I'll be damned, and here we go again, but I'll be damned if I pay a fortune of money to a company to do something that I could virtually do myself. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of these freeze-dried food packages that you get is essentially your dried ingredients, right? And then they'll have a oxygen little packet inside to take the oxygen out, and they seal it. That's it. That's it. So you can actually go and buy a lot of the dry ingredients yourself. Hell, you can get pasta right at your local grocery store. And online, and I'm sure there's many local places where you can buy this stuff as well, especially near your bigger cities and stuff. But you can buy things like powdered cheese and powdered marinara sauce and all that stuff. You can buy all of that. So why not put together your own dry meals? Just makes sense to me. And you can do it at a fraction of the cost. So that is an area kind of starting to already get into where we're going to be going in 2020. That is an area that I plan to start hitting in 2020. The other thing is, along the lines of food, is that, I expected that our business was going to grow. I expect it will continue to grow into 2020, and it will continue to grow. And the reason why is because whenever I start a business, I don't expect to get rich overnight. I don't try to profit as much as I can and, right from the get-go. I try to build that solid, firm foundation. And I try to base that business primarily on customer service and ability to produce an incredible product. So if you do that, and you stay dedicated to that, you stay loyal to your customers, and that is hugely important. When you're in a business, your loyalty better be to your customers. If it's not, if your loyalty is to your own wallet, you're going to fail. Guaranteed. You're going to fail. The only exception to this is if you're too big to fail, so to speak, right? I guarantee you that the entire Walmart clan, they're not so much caring about their customers anymore. They're just worried about their wallets. But they're so big that they've reached that point that they can get away with that, unfortunately. In my opinion, there shouldn't be any point that anybody can get away with that, but it is what it is. When you're a small business, your loyalty, your dedication has to be to your customers. And that's where we put it. That's where we put it. I haven't messaged him yet. I'm working on the Angry American decals. I haven't messaged him yet, but I will be messaging Chris tonight, and I will be letting him know that, hey, this is where I'm at on your decals, blah, blah, blah. All goes okay. This is what I'm looking at as far as, when to ship out to you, keeping in contact with him, letting him know. Now, does he necessarily need this update? Probably not, but he's going to get it because that's the way it should be. That's just the way it should be. So I do expect our business to grow because we are dedicated. We are loyal to our customers. By the way, if folks want to see what I'm working on, there's some of the parts of the faces that I weeded today. A lot of detail in that. A lot of detail. So I've got to add, obviously, the red stripes and the blue star. That's just the face part of it. But those are taking me quite a while because of all of the detail in them. So that, and I put a new blade in my cutter the other day, and it just takes a while. It takes a while to get that blade dialed in just perfect. And clearly I don't have it dialed in just perfect yet, but I'll get there. But anyway, that's his new. See, he always has like two logos. He has the one like he puts on everything and sells on his website and all of that. That's without the cigar. But then he's got like a personal logo with the cigar. And so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on his personal logo, and so that's the 6-inch variety. There is no way I can do that in 3-inch. There is absolutely no way. It's hard enough to do it in 6-inch. So, but anyway, I've got 6-inch ones to do and then 12-inch ones to do. All of the red and blue are ready. They're all weeded, ready to start layering. And let's see, I believe almost all of the white is, and then almost all the black, actually. So, yeah, I've got to do the 12-inch ones in the white and the black, and then I'm ready to start layering it all together. So it's coming together. It's just taking a little bit of time because of all the little bitty pieces that I have to weed out. There's one piece there. I don't know if I can really point it out, but it's in the cigar. It's like that one little piece there. That's not held on anywhere else. So I actually have to encourage that little piece to stay there while I'm weeding the rest of it out. And that takes a little bit of time because that is a tiny, tiny little piece. But anyway, they are coming together. And like I said, I expect our business to grow. And I know I got way off where I was talking about, so let me get back. Let me rein myself back in here. So what I'm hoping happens is that I get a huge, huge order, okay, like a huge, huge order that tops our largest order yet, which was the order just before last. And if I do, I think I'll be in the market for a freeze dryer. So that is kind of my goal, is a freeze dryer. Now, whether or not I can get there or not beats me. But that is my goal when it comes to the food, is a freeze dryer. Because, wow, yeah, if I can just make regular old meals and throw them in the freeze dryer, freeze dry them, vacuum seal them up with an oxygen absorber, I'm good to go. Good to go. So, that's one area that we would like to get. 2019, like I say, we were able to really shore up a lot of different areas of our preps, a lot. And as I've already stated, it's to the level to where I feel pretty comfortable with the preps that we have, aside from the food. That's what we really need to work on hard. Couple other things we need to do is we need to work on the clothing thing a little bit more. Definitely got to work on the clothing thing with Jen. and then a tent. So we've got a small tent, but I would like to have a canvas one that's got a stove jack already built into it and the whole 9 yards. So that's another thing that is kind of a major goal. The freeze dryer, I mean, although it's a major goal, I've got it kind of on the borderline unrealistic list. Okay, so it is what it is. Those things are expensive, and from my understanding, when you buy one, you definitely want to buy the one with the oilless pump, and that's what really kind of starts to run you into a lot of the extra money involved in getting a freeze dryer. So again, that's borderline on the unrealistic list. It's up there, but it's kind of like pipe dreamish. But a tent is not. A tent is not. Although a tent, one like I'm talking about, is probably not going to be any less than about $500. So it's going to be a little chunk of change for a good quality canvas tent that's already got a stove jack built in. So like I say, we've got a little bitty 3-man tent, and if the balloon would go up, I'll make it work somehow. I'll make it work. So that's kind of the directions that we really need to go. I definitely plan on doing a lot more video type of content in the coming year. A lot more review type of stuff when we can. I know I've got a lot of review stuff to catch up on to get, but I'm also going to try to, I don't know what to come up with. I don't know what. I just want to do a little bit of video work. I'm waiting for an answer back from DJI right now. They have a program called the Care Refresh program, and essentially what it is when you get a drone, you can purchase this. It's kind of like an insurance, okay? Now, if you purchase it within 48 hours after you activate the drone, it's no big deal at all. Real super easy. I didn't do that, so in order for me to participate in the program, I have to shoot a pretty comprehensive video of the drone to where I show the serial number. I have to run it through all of its functions and all of that, and I got to video record all of that completely unedited. They won't let you edit anything because obviously you could switch things up or do, so you have to send them. They've got a list of things that you have to show and do on that video. And you just shoot the video, you send the video to them, they review it, they give you a thumbs up or thumbs down, whichever, and you can actually, after that 48 hours has expired from buying it or from activating it, you can actually go ahead and still get in on the Care Refresh program. You just got to do this whole video thing. Well, I'm in the process of trying to get that done now because you can't beat it. The little program thing costs you $39 to get in, $39, and it's good for a year. And in that year's time, I can have 2 drone replacements. Now, they're not just free drone replacements. There's like a copay kind of thing. The first one is $40. So, and it doesn't matter. If I go run it into a wall high speed and smash it to smithereens, right? I send them $40, boom, they send me a new drone. The first one's $40, the second one's $49. That's not a bad deal. That's not a bad deal. And like I was explaining to Jen, it's kind of one of those things to where if I go ahead and pay the $39 and I have that coverage, I'll never need it. But if I don't, I'm going to be sitting there crying one day because I've got a broken drone that I can't do nothing with. So, which isn't completely true. Parts are already starting to hit the market for them, the arms and motors and stuff like that. So that's not entirely true. In fact, somebody had an eBay link that I checked out that had, aside from the electronics inside the drone, you could get every body part for it, the motors and every body part for it. So, it's not a big deal, really, even if I don't have that program, because I can fix it myself. Not a big deal, not a big issue. Once again, that's part of where we should strive to be as preppers, as survivalists, is being able to do this stuff ourselves. But anyway, so if I get involved in that DJI Care Refresh program, I'm going to feel a lot more at ease about flying that thing. Right now, I'm telling you, every time it leaves the ground, my butt gets a little tight. Because I'm worried. If something happens, that's a lot of money. So that'll make me definitely feel a lot more at ease. So I'm waiting for them to get back with me. Basically, the $1 million question is do I have to pay the money up front, or do I make the video first and send them the video and then they yay or nay it? If they yay it, then do I pay the money? That's all I'm waiting on. So, but I'm sure that they were off for some reason, right? So I didn't expect them to get back with me yet. So probably tomorrow. I'll probably hear back from them. If not, it'll be early next week, I'm sure. So, but that's where we're looking at heading towards. A lot more different type of video content, not just reviews. I might just decide to do a video just for the hell of it, right? I'm not a big fan of editing video, but maybe if I've got some cool enough video clips, I might learn to be. So, as normal as far as looking forward, we're just still going to bring you the honest truth. We're going to bring you the raw truth as best as we can. When it comes, we take this seriously. We take it very seriously, and I see far too many, even alternative news channels and stuff out there that are very misleading for whatever the reason. We're going to continue down the same path that we are. And, I think part of the success of the Watchman News, and I don't mean, when I say success, I'm not talking by numbers, because that's how society would look at it, and we're big losers according to society. Okay? Don't even have 5,000 subs. We don't pull in the huge numbers. So we're pretty big losers as far as society is concerned. However, to the discerning ear, those with the eyes to see, the ears to hear, they'll catch up on what we do. And just like I talked about business, a slow, gradual growth, it's the same thing here. But this is why, although I know that I pimped myself out at the beginning of the monologues, with the Amazon affiliate links and the PayPal link and all of that good stuff, this isn't for us to make a living. What we do with this news is not intended for us to make a living. And that is why. Because I don't want to ever be put in the position to where, but if I report this, I'll lose money, so I'm not going to report this. I don't want to ever even get tempted with that. So that's why from the very beginning, I made sure that, this wasn't something that was going to be swayed. You've got so many, especially YouTube channels out there right now, that are so swayed, it's unbelievable. And they're swayed because of that dollar. That dollar, yo. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Man, I'm telling you, we're in bad shape. And the problem is we've done it to ourselves. And a lot of it's a lack of morals. I morally couldn't sit here and purposely mislead you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It would eat at me and eat at me and eat at me. You know, I don't even like, and this is proven by actions. I always tell you guys, don't listen to what people say. Watch what they do. Pay attention to actions. That's why I had to disassociate myself with someone. Because they were misleading. And no, thank you. I don't want no part of that. I don't want no part of that. You know? Here's the thing. I don't know what you would call this. It's a little story that's going to teach a lesson, right? Say you've got two captains of two ships. And one captain's just kind of cruising his boat along his ship. And he comes across another ship that's dead in the water. Dead in the water. Won't move. And let's say it's got a couple holes in it and it's leaking and nobody really cares. Well, so the captain says, hey, you know, we'll hitch up to you and we'll pull you to a dock. Okay. They put their cable in between them and he's pulling them towards the shore, and lo and behold, the guy in the ship in the back, the broken down ship, is sitting there poking holes in his ship. Why are you poking holes in your ship? I don't know. Poke, poke, poke. And continues to poke holes in his ship. Now, at some point, the guy in the, we'll call it a tugboat, the guy in the forward boat pulling the other boat or ship is going to have to make a decision. Because if the idiot in the broken down ship continues to poke holes in his boat and continues to sink his boat, guess what? There's a cable connecting both boats. So that idiot will sink both boats, both ships, unless that cable is cut. Now you see what I'm saying. I am not going to have our ship sank by someone else that don't have enough common sense not to keep poking holes in his. So, I think it's perfect timing for that too. New year, you know, just cut free. And I think I'm going to I think I'm totally cutting free. Repentance is a big thing to me. It's really important to me. Again, actions, not words. Somebody can tell you they're going to do something 1,000,000 times. I don't even pay attention to it. I ignore it. Actions. When you repent, not only do you discontinue doing whatever it was that was wrong, but you go back and admit to and apologize for what you already had done that was wrong. And I'll never see that. I'll never see that. So, toodaloo. Anyway, and it's not about me, by the way. Let me make that clear. This ain't about me. Okay? This is about the people, his fans, his subscribers, the people that watch his show. They're the ones he betrayed. It's not about me. Other than the fact of what he did of not contacting the customers that ordered merchandise. But yeah, it's not about me. And it's not all about those customers. The most of it is about his subscribers that he betrayed. And that's ridiculous. Oh, thank you, Tony. Thank you very much. Jen just told me to tell you thank you, but I I see she's got her email up over there, so thank you very much. So yeah, it just kind of is what it is, right? And I recommend that for you all going into 2020. I'll shut my yapper here in a second and get on to headlines, but I'll recommend that for you all going into 2020 as well. You know, get the drama and the immorality and all of that. That's all bad juju. Get that all out of your life. Focus on that. I'll tell you what, I have never lived as calmly as what I do today. Never. We live a pretty calm life, don't we? I mean, a lot of people might look at it as being boring or lame, I guess. I don't know, but it's calm. We're not all worked up about all kinds of stuff. We're not all... No. But that takes work. That's not a passive thing. That's an active thing. You have to actively keep that drama out. You have to actively keep the immoral people out. And life gets so easy when you do that. So easy. It doesn't mean you're not going to have trials. It doesn't mean you're not going to run into things. I mean, because, you know, after all, shit does happen. But man, I'll tell you what. I'd rather just have to deal with a true issue, a real issue, without all kinds of added drama on top of it all. So, you know, it's what it is. But anyway, I'll shut my yapper. Let me get to headlines and we'll go from there. As soon as I can find my mouse. There it is. Let me have a sip of coffee here. The first day of the year always looks so weird on the date. It's not just the new year part, but even the day and the month just looks weird. Okay, now can we fast forward to say, I don't know, 4th month, 5th month? You know? No?
That means I'm 42.
Jen says no, because that means she's 42. Are you savoring this last month?
Yes.
Alrighty. Unrest, and this was from last night. Unrest at U.S. Embassy reveals Iraqis are fed up with American occupiers. Also last night, U.S. sending 750 troops to the Middle East after Baghdad embassy siege, says the Pentagon. How's the climate accord doing? Trump rips Macron amid massive pension protest and labor strike. Pompeo blames terrorists and Iranian proxies for attack on U.S. embassy in Baghdad as Tehran rebuffs accusations. Trump says he does not see war with Iran happening hours after issuing a threat against Tehran. Reckless escalation or no more Benghazis, Dems jeer and GOP cheer as Trump points finger at Tehran after Baghdad embassy attack. Okay, now we're to today's news. We'll see what happens with this Iran thing. We'll see. There are folks that certainly want to go to war in Iran. Right? I'm not going to necessarily say Trump does, but obviously there are individuals that would be their that's probably their New Year's resolution, is to get us into war with Iran. From dream to reality, Russia's Silicon Valley to mark 10-year anniversary with new projects. Not the bees. Pentagon wants to use swarms of AI-powered drones for rescue missions. China drops tariffs on hundreds of Pakistani products as wide-ranging trade agreement takes effect. It's going to be an eventful year. India set to launch third lunar mission in 2020. U.S. troops fire tear gas as protesters throw stones at embassy in Baghdad. Australia deploys military aircraft and Navy ships to help fire-ravaged communities. Iran's supreme leader hits back at Trump's big price threat, says U.S. took revenge for defeating ISIS. That headline kind of confuses me, to be honest. Numerous cars torched during New Year's Eve mayhem in Strasbourg, France. This is insane. Let me have a sip of coffee because we got to dig into this article. This is something that's been warned about for quite some time. Let me open it up here. In 2020, prepare to eat bugs, bags, and weed. I'm not so indifferent on the weed part, but hey, by the way, I guess that's in the news today. Today is the first day that it is recreationally legal to smoke marijuana in the state of Illinois. And it really sucks because I don't get to celebrate. Damn it. Okay. While haggis, neeps, and tatties typically represent the best of Scottish cooking, oh, that's probably haggis, sorry. 2020 has other plans and culinary clash of evolution, innovation, and sustainability. That last word is the one you want to pay attention to. Sustainability. And that one word tells you where this is coming from, where its actual root is. In a new publication from Zero Waste Scotland, entomophagy, the practice of humans eating insects could be the future, with the report suggesting that a change from cattle to critters could be lucrative and better for the environment. Dr. William Clark, ZW's bioeconomy specialist, now we have bioeconomy specialist, really? Says that insects would offer a sustainable way to produce more food using less resources. Insect farms offer a reliable, sustainable, circular economy solution to the protein gap. Do you hear that? Yeah, your bacon, buy. Your beef, buy. Have a beetle. Let's see. For although the world produces enough food for everyone, more than a third of it goes to waste so people don't get the protein they need. Did you pay attention to that sentence? We produce enough food for everyone. That's not a problem. But because so much of it gets wasted, we don't get the nutrition that we need. Hello? Isn't there a problem there? Just like there's a problem, and I'm all for capitalism, right? But when we've got a severe epidemic of homeless people, and homelessness, the rates are skyrocketing. And here we have all of these empty houses. Why? Oh, well, we can't just give handouts. We can't just give it to them. Trump 2020. Come on. I understand that. But it's not a light switch. It's not either on or off. It's more like a dimmer switch. You can put it in the middle somewhere. There's a lot of homeless people that would no longer be homeless if they had a few very important opportunities. One of those is a home. One of those is a home.
Well, you can get a job and go get a home. 2020.
Yeah? So you really think that that employer's going to hire somebody that comes in with ratty-looking hair that hadn't been washed for weeks? That doesn't have an address to put on his a physical address to put on his application, and in many cases doesn't have a phone number to put on there? Just how are you going to contact this individual? It's ridiculous. It truly is ridiculous. Again, it's not a light switch. It's not on or off. It's more like a dimmer switch. And we can meet in the middle. I don't believe that you should just give a handout to anybody that'll take one. Because, my God, again, I believe in capitalism. But I also believe that by allowing people that sink down to the bottom to remain on bottom, that's just as much, if not more likely more of a drain on our system than by trying to help them out of the situation that they're in.
Yeah, but there's all kinds of programs and...
Stop. If you haven't been there, don't tell me about the programs. Don't tell me about the programs. Because while I haven't been totally there, I've been close enough that I'm aware of the realities. Do you know if your family, mom, dad, married couple, you've got 2, 3 kids, and something happens, and next thing you know, you're on the streets? Do you know in every single homeless shelter that I'm aware of, they separate you. The mom and the children can go to one shelter, but if there's a shelter for the men, they have to go to a different shelter. They split the family up. And the very first thing that they do after they've got good old dad out of the picture is send a social worker in to try to convince mom that she doesn't need dad. I'm not kidding. So I don't want to hear about the programs, because I'm familiar with the programs. Anyway, you know, this is the direction that they are shoving us. Let me ask you a question here. While you're sitting there eating your Beetlejuice, pun intended, do you think that the Walton family is going to be eating their Beetlejuice? Do you think they're going to be having cricket soup? No, they're not. They're not. This is ridiculous. And it's all right there in the article. It's all right there. The world produces enough food for everyone. More than 1/3 of it goes to waste. Now come on. I get the whole capitalism thing. I get it. I get it. I have no problem with capitalism. I also have no problem in putting in laws and regulations that will make sure that as much of this food waste as possible can get consumed, so that everybody can have an opportunity at good nutrition. Because let me tell you what, it all starts there. which this is a topic I'm the last one to be telling you about because I've got some of the crappiest nutrition that you could imagine. You know, while we don't eat a bunch of junk food and all that, we certainly don't have a balanced diet. We don't get the vegetables and the fruits and the milks and the grains and no, we don't. We just don't. However, I would say that protein is by far not an area that we're deficient in. I like meat. So a lot of our meals has meat. You know, maybe hamburger. Most cases is hamburger. But it's still proteins. Anyway, it's ridiculous. Let's see. With 500,000 tons of agricultural feedstock thrown away each year, the report also adds that using just 10% of that for insect farming would produce almost 6 million pounds for the Scottish economy. For those wanting to start their own farm, it's good to note that in 1 year, bugs produce about 100 times more protein from the same amount of space that you would get by farming sheep or cows, and insects can also produce valuable byproducts such as biodiesel, bioplastics, and organic fertilizers. But are eco-warriors prepared to eat black soldier flies and field crickets in a quest to save the planet? Are ya? Anyway, expect to see more of this. You know, this is going to get pushed heavily, and I would not doubt if at some point it reaches the level that it actually gets mandated. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out. I have no doubt that this is going to wind up being mandated at some point. As long as, you know, they, those, them don't have to participate, because that's how it works, right? New Year's fire at German zoo kills all but 2 animals inside monkey sanctuary. Iraqi protesters withdraw from U.S. embassy in Baghdad. Netanyahu asks for immunity from prosecution in corruption cases. Israeli cops disguised as Palestinians attacked by Jewish teens in No Arabs Allowed settlement. 2 arrested. Okay, I've got a number 1 up there. Let me check it real quick. Post-Iraq War U.S. Intel report predicting 2020 looks eerily prescient. I guess that's a word. Prescient, only compared to agencies' political blunders. So anyway, need to get that tweeted out. Yeah, let me grab it real quick. Let me download it to my computer real quick here. And bring it up into this window here. There you go. Let me zoom in on that a little bit. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's awesome. I wished I had access to a machine like that. I would be doing all kinds of interesting things. But yeah, that is the picture that Wolf had sent me earlier. The Second Amendment is my gun permit. I love that. I love that. Alrighty, let me go ahead and close up the monologue here. And for those here for the live show, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. We will be live until 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. For those just here for the monologue, or if you're watching the recording thereof, thank you very much. As always, God bless you, we love you, and be one with your spirit.